Hey, good Wednesday morning, everyone. BAM weather meteorologist Matt Griffin here with your latest Michigan local forecast update. Hopefully everyone's doing well out there this morning. Currently recording this video around 6:56 a.m. Eastern time. And I want to get into the latest here, guys, with this storm cluster risk getting into tonight. Still some uncertainty with this system, and we'll kind of mention some of the risk here into this video here. But let's go ahead and get into it. Moving to the corner of the screen, at least the radar this morning, it's pretty quiet. Now, we do have some of the storm activity ongoing near the Chicago area. It's kind of drifting off to the east-southeast. Largely, I think we miss out on this moisture here. The main storyline for us comes into as we get into really the morning hours of tomorrow here. So you can see, guys, I don't want to touch on this too much. Temperatures, really want to keep this focused on the precipitation forecast here. But you can see as I bring this out, these temperatures out into the afternoon, if you're into southwestern Michigan, it'll be a bit of a warm one. Mid to upper 80s will be possible, and we're talking about feels like temperatures into the lower 90s across portions of southwestern Michigan towards Kalamazoo, Niles, those areas there. But, if we take a look at what we're dealing with as far as precipitation, I'm using a model this morning called the NAM3 model, and I don't think it's bad as we do kind of progress throughout the morning. I think we're going to be on the drier side here. Now, we'll have to watch getting into the afternoon. Here's a look as we get closer towards about the 4 p.m. time frame here, 3 to 4 p.m. Wouldn't it be shocked to see something isolated, spotty closer towards the Michigan-Indiana border here, perhaps even towards the Michigan-Ohio border. But again, I'm not anticipating a whole lot of coverage, but can't rule that out as we get into the afternoon hours of today. Some upper-level energy and a bit of a frontal boundary stretched across the area. May have some an area of light precip work over the lake as we get into this evening around the 6 p.m. time frame, but you can see our kind of main chances are associated with the storm cluster as we head into the evening here. So here's a look as we get towards about the 11 p.m. time frame tonight. And as I bring this out towards, you can see as I bring this out towards about the midnight time frame, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., you can see these storms kind of near the Big Rapids area, points off to the west, moving off to the south and to the east. Near the Lansing area, near the Jackson area, but the best potential for the storms, I think, are going to be to the south and to the west. Now, with this system, as it rolls through into the morning hours of tomorrow, there is some uncertainty into exactly how this does progress. There's some data which is a little bit more aggressive for areas towards Lansing, areas towards Flint, even towards Detroit into tomorrow morning. It's more of a west to east progressive nature type of storm system. So that is a risk into the forecast we'll need to watch heading into the afternoon, evening hours of today. But I think just based off where the upper level flow is and the best instability, right now I don't mind a solution such as this where it's more of a southeast diving type of cluster here. In behind this initial round of storms, I think we need to watch for some storm development. I can't rule out. Here's a look as we get closer towards about the 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. time frame tomorrow morning. Some additional thunderstorm development across central and southwestern Michigan getting into tomorrow morning. Obviously, that round of storms is going to be entirely dependent on how this initial line of storms kind of rolls through here. So it's like dominoes, how one impacts the other, so on and so forth here. So regardless, guys, as we do head later into the afternoon, evening hours of tomorrow, what we'll need to keep an eye on into Thursday afternoon is some isolated activity to continue to be possible into eastern Michigan. I think especially near the Flint and Saginaw areas for a few isolated type of storms here before things quiet down into the overnight. Can't rule out something isolated into Detroit later on to the evening, closer towards about the 6 p.m. time frame as well. But as we do head into the overnight, into the morning hours of Friday, I do think things can calm down a little bit. Now, moisture totals, as far as this is concerned, I don't mind this solution here. This is a bit of a blended model solution with the human input into it. And it's going to be, I think, into these areas here, the best potential, especially as towards the Lake Michigan shoreline area, we could see an inch, maybe a spot could see locally approaching 2 inches into these areas. But I think generally into this red line here, we're talking about 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches into these areas. Now, areas along where we see this gradient of the blue line for some of you folks closer towards Lansing, towards the cold water areas, this is where I have the most amount of uncertainty here. There's some data which is certainly heavier, again, more of that west to east progressive nature of the storm system. So we could see these totals, trend upwards as we head into later into the afternoon here. In fact, you may see your app is a little bit heavier into some of these locations. So Definitely a risk into the forecast, but based off what I'm seeing, I do like these areas here more into southwestern Michigan for the best potential of heavier rain. Lighter totals the further off to the east we go. You can see, a quarter of an inch, half an inch can be ruled out into some of these areas towards Detroit as well. Towards Lansing, I would say we're closer towards, quarter of an inch to 3/4 of an inch. Obviously, a big margin of error into that Lansing area. Now, as we kind of move forward here into the forecast here, guys, let me go ahead and take off my drawing tool here. And let's kind of take a look at the European model as we move forward here into the forecast. And, again, as we get into Friday, I think we're going to be on the drier side here. We'll have to watch getting through Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon from some storms to move from north to south here across the state of Michigan. Could provide for some scattered showers and thunderstorms getting into Saturday evening here. Perhaps a locally a heavier shower can't be ruled out Saturday evening as well. And then we'll see continued scattered chances, really hit and miss here throughout the state, getting into Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon as well. Especially, I think, Sunday, more of an eastern focus of the state with the best chances for some hit and miss. And then as we get into Monday into Tuesday of our week ahead, I think we're generally quiet here, maybe something isolated across portions of northern Michigan. So, guys, that is about it for your latest Michigan forecast update. Again, the storm prediction, severe weather outlook, I don't mind this. The yellow on a scale of 1 to 5 is a 1. The primary risk with the storms into this evening are going to be that of some strong wind gusts and perhaps some hail as well. Those will be the primary concerns here. So, guys, let us know what questions you have. We'll be more than happy to answer them. In the meantime, have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll keep you guys posted.